We are Honeysuckle Meadows RV Campground
in Sevierville, Tennessee, and this is a campground review.
Make sure to stay to the end to find out what our favorite part about staying here was.
But before we get to that, please make sure to like and subscribe. Subscriptions are free and it really helps our channel out. General impressions.
This is a small mountainous campground with spacious RV sites that can be a bit tricky to get into.
The cost was $45 a night, and we gave that a value of a 4 because we felt like it's a really great price for the location with full hookups and plenty of room, especially during peak season.
Campground.
This campground is a smaller campground with only 54 sites, and 30 of those are never available for rent. They also have a large number of campsites which are pull-in, which is a little quirky. It's for the purposes of providing a better view of the mountains, but it can be a little bit challenging if you have a towable rig, like a travel trailer or a fifth wheel. It's a really nice campground, and it's spread out with space between the sites. We stayed in campsite number 53.
It is a gravel pull-through site with grass all around it. It has full hookups, including both 50 and 30, so hashtag 50. Our campsite did need a little leveling front to back, and not so much side to side. All sites have picnic tables, fire pits with a layover grill attachment. There is no propane fill here or a dump station. The campground does have Wi-Fi. It has 129 megabits down and 2.5 megabits per second up, which is really respectable. It does seem to have cable Wi-Fi. We tested Starlink at 52 megabits per second down and 2.5 megabits per second up at our campsite, and it did have a clear view of the sky. Verizon cell phone reception at the campground is limited, as it is in most of the area around, especially in the national park. We were able to get 4.3 megabits per second down and only 0.05 megabits per second up.
The noise level at this campground was very quiet at nighttime. During the daytime, we do get a little bit of road noise and occasionally like some dump trucks going up and down this road behind us. Road noise. Exhibit A. We're in the smaller of the two loops. At the big loop, I wouldn't imagine you'd have any road noise because it's a good bit away.
Amenities.
There are no bathrooms and no showers at this campground, so that's a bit of an oddity for most campgrounds. Most have at least something, but there's not that here. So you're going to want a fully enclosed RV to stay here and be comfortable. Dumpsters are available at the front of the park. However, we're going to show you on the map where they are because they're not located on the campground map, which I'm not really sure why. We also had a little bit of difficulty locating them because they're tucked behind the office and between the office and the RVs that are in storage. They do have a laundry facility with 2 washers and 2 dryers, and it costs $2 per cycle. It is only convenient though from the large loop, which is not the loop we're staying in. From this loop, you're probably going to want to drive because it's a good bit of a walk and there's a pretty steep hill. There is also no playground at this campground. They do have a pool as well as a pond, which you may be able to see over our shoulders. The pond is catch and release.
One thing to keep in mind about the pool is that you need to tell them you're staying at the campground. Otherwise, they will try to charge you, as was noted in a 1-star review.
Yeah, it is open to the public. So it's not just campers who will be using the pool, but it is free for the campers. Dog friendliness.
The campground is not that dog friendly. They do allow dogs. However, they do not have pickup stations or pickup bags. The dumpster is located, as we said, all the way at the front of the RV park, which makes it very difficult to, get rid of the poo-poo.
Yeah, we have a little collection and we have to make frequent trips to the dumpster to rid ourselves of the poo-poo bags.
Yeah. On a positive side, though, there is a lot of grassy area in the campground that you can walk your dogs. Some of it's a little questionable. Maybe we'll throw that part of the video that I did up here about whether or not you're actually walking through some of these campgrounds, but there is definitely plenty of grass to walk your dogs on. Campstore.
This will be quick because there is no Campstore. They do have a deli at the pool. We haven't tried that yet, but they do have some food items on offering there. They also have a Dollar General about 2.5 miles away, but the Walmart is 30 miles away. So you're going to want to plan your groceries, pick up what you need before you come, and then maybe get the essentials probably down at the Dollar General.
While we were walking the campground, we did notice at the laundromat there was a Coke machine. Unfortunately, it did not work. No.
And it had cobwebs on it and in it, so it looks like it's been a while since it's worked.
Big spiders in the drink chute. No thanks. Campstaff Interactions.
The camp staff that we dealt with were friendly.
But as noted in some of the reviews in Google, they were really difficult to get a hold of. Calling them doesn't seem to always work. Emailing them maybe works a little bit better, but yeah.
No, it didn't. I one day I was trying to get a hold of them and called 4 or 5 times and was finally able to get a hold of someone. I also left messages. When I was trying to find the dumpsters while we were staying here, I called, could not get a hold of them, so I sent a message on their chatbot that they have on their website, and nobody responded.
So that 1-star review is confirmed. And now for our favorite part of staying here.
Our favorite part has to be the location. If you are headed to Cade's Cove, Pigeon Forge, or Gatlinburg, those are all very close proximity at about only 30 minutes drive. So this is a nice, quiet, out-of-the-way spot where you have a view of the mountains, a little less touristy, but still close enough to go do those activities that you may be interested in, and a great value for the price.
So if you may have noticed, I've been referring to reviews throughout this. This is our campground review, which you can indeed find on Google, but I also reviewed some other Google reviews to see what they had to say.
Some of the 1-star reviews.
Yeah, some of the 1-star reviews are really interesting, and some of the ones we already confirmed. Here's another one. They said that one of the campsites in particular, campsite 50, had a very small area that made it impossible to put out an awning or their chairs. That is
completely busted.
Yeah, completely busted. Here's a picture of campsite 50
with a fifth wheel that has slide outs and awnings and campground chairs.
That's right.
It had a deck and everything for the chairs. It had plenty of space at that campsite. So definitely busted.
Another 1-star review was about a different campsite, campsite number 18, which had no room to get in. Now, what I can say is that although there was, that part of it is actually busted, what is accurate is that the angle of the campsite made it almost impossible to pull into efficiently.
So like a 50-point turn to get into it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There was a very small campsite across from that one that looked like just a turnout on a road, which I definitely wouldn't want to stay in that campsite unless you had a really small rig. But if you use that campsite to pull if it's empty, yeah, you could pull into that campsite with no problems. Otherwise, you may go into the ditch on the right hand.
Yeah, if you look at this one on the campground map, it's actually angled for a back end. However, it's a pull-in. Again, a little quirky with this campground. It's a pull-in. So to make sure that your camping gear is on the right side, all your hookups and everything, you'd have to pull in, or make sure to bring the extra extension cord and the extra long sewer hose, and then you get back in. Yep. It'd be fine.
So that review I will call
confirmed.
Partially confirmed.
Okay.
It didn't. The ditches weren't really that big of an issue. They were like you might drop a tire in and then pull it right back out immediately, but it wasn't that bad.
That doesn't sound great.
There were some other various 1-stars or 2-star reviews that talked about the campground's driveways and different pull-ins for the sites and stuff like that, and being a little in need of repair. I'll say that's confirmed.
Yeah, there were some areas where the asphalt was a little broken. There were some potholes, some ditches. There's actually one right behind us that's on a curve, and we didn't have to go up the hill because of where our campsite is, but we did actually see someone coming right behind us and have difficulty because, as you said, their wheels went off into the ditch a little bit as they went around that curve, and then they spun out a little trying to get up the hill and pull it back out.
But in terms of the last campground we went to at Green Mountain,
I would say it's much better. Yeah, it's all relative. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, how we rate this campground in Google reviews.
4 rooms, we gave them a 4.
That's right. They have plenty of grass in between, which is nice. Some of them are sitting a little cockeyed, which makes you a little closer to your neighbors than you really need to be, but there's still a lot of space in this campground.
The only reason we took off 1 star for this campground was the roads, as we mentioned before, and the levelness of the campsites.
For service, we gave them
a 3.
The service was good. It was just a little hard to get a hold of them. And since we had multiple issues with that, and we saw that in the reviews, we gave them a 3.
For location, we gave them
a
a 2. We gave them a 2 for location because it is quite a distance from the main, what we would consider the main road. Although the road that runs along the front of the campground does lead right into the national park, which is really nice. But it was quite a distance, and of course the roads are very difficult to navigate.
As far as what we wanted, it was exactly what we wanted. And so we struggled with this one a bit because we felt like maybe give it a 4 or a 5. But by our own criteria, we felt like that we had to grade this as a 2 because of the distance from the main locations and the main interstates and roadways.
Overall, we gave them a 3.
We like this campground. We'd come back again.
It's really nice and mostly quiet, and we were definitely really close to the bears. We got lots of pictures of bears. Rawr!
That's right. We love the proximity of this campground to not only the main attractions like Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, but it's also kind of situated right in between that and Cade's Cove, which is closer for the things that we enjoy doing more, like the biking in Cade's Cove.
And animal sightseeing.
So if you want to check out that, check out our full-on vlog that we did while we were here, so you can see some of those activities.
So as a spoiler, we found not 1, not 2, but 12 bears while we were there.
And some of them were baby bears. We had some close encounters. If you're also interested in other campgrounds, we have other campground reviews. Maybe here.
We're over here.
Well, come on.
Kayla, what do you think of this campground?
I can see the people. I give it a 4, Papa, for the sniffs. 4 for the sniffs.
4%.